Hello everyone. In this video, I am going to explain semiconductor theory. So as name suggests, it is semiconductor. The meaning of semiconductor is that means it is neither conductor nor an insulator. So semiconductors are materials which have conductivity between conductor and non-conductor. That means its conductivity is between conductor and non-conductor. They are nor insulator nor conductor. Semiconductors can be pure elements like silicon, germanium, or it can be compounds such as gallium arsenide. You can see here a silicon atom. A silicon atom has 14 electrons around the nucleus. You can see here this is nucleus and there are electrons. And of these, there are 4 valence electrons on the outermost orbit. So if you can see in the outermost orbit, this is outermost orbit and there are 4 valence electrons in silicon atom. The silicon is semiconductor material which is insulator at absolute zero temperature. That means if temperature is zero, then silicon atom is completely insulator. Completely insulator. And when we increase the temperature, that means increasing temperature or thermal energy will cause some covalent electrons to become free. That means if we increase the temperature or if we increase the thermal energy, then it will cause some of the covalent electrons to become free. Now, when it crystallizes, the nuclei share electrons and they bond with 8 electrons around each nucleus. You can see here, these are separate silicon atoms. Every atom has 4 valence electrons, and when it crystallizes, the nuclei share electrons. Means they share electron with each other and they form a covalent bonding as shown in the figure with 8 electrons around each nucleus. It does not conduct electricity for the most part in this pure monocrystalline silicon state. That means when silicon atom or silicon is in this crystalline nature, then it will not conduct electricity. Then when it will conduct electricity, it will conduct electricity when we add impurity into it. You can see here a crystallized silicon atom. This is a three-dimensional view of crystallized silicon atom. Intrinsic silicon or germanium must be modified by increasing the number of free electrons. That means intrinsic silicon means it is in the pure form. Pure form of silicon is known as intrinsic silicon, or germanium must be modified by increasing the number of free electrons. That means we should increase the number of free electrons or holes to increase its conductivity. That means if we want to increase its conductivity, we should increase the free electrons or holes and make it useful in electronic devices. But how to do this? This is done by adding impurities to the intrinsic material, and that is known as doping. What is the meaning of doping? Doping means adding impurities into pure silicon or germanium material. So you can see here once again, this is a three-dimensional view of silicon, crystallized silicon. The semiconductor is categorized as p-type or n-type depending on the type of impurities that are doped. That means what we are doping, what we are adding into the silicon, based on that we can categorize semiconductor into p-type and n-type. Now what is p-type semiconductor? To increase the number of holes. In p-type semiconductor, what we do, in p-type we increase the number of holes. To increase the number of holes in intrinsic silicon, trivalent impurity atoms are added. So for p-type semiconductor, to increase number of holes, we add trivalent impurity atoms. Which are trivalent impurity atoms? Such as boron, indium, gallium, etc. What are these? In these, there are 3 valence electrons. Means in boron, indium or gallium, there are 3 valence electrons. That means there are 3 electrons in the outermost orbit. Then now you can see here the structure. Each trivalent atom, you can see here, this is a boron atom and there are 4 silicon atoms. So each trivalent atom, boron in this case, form covalent bonds with 4 adjacent silicon atoms. So this boron, there are 3 electrons. So 1 electron of boron on here, you can see 1 electron of silicon. Again here 1 electron of boron and 1 electron of silicon. 1 of boron and 1 of silicon. Here there is 1 electron in the silicon, but there is no electron in the boron because boron has only 3 valence electron in the outermost orbit. So all 3 of boron atoms valence electrons are used in the covalent bonds, and since 4 electrons are required, a hole results. So that's why you can see here this is white and this is known as hole. The hole results when each trivalent atom is added. So what happens, because the trivalent atom can take an electron, now there is a hole and it can take an electron. Because the trivalent atom can take an electron, it is often referred to as acceptor atom. Why it is acceptor atom? Because there is a hole and it is ready to take electron. The number of holes can be carefully controlled by number of trivalent impurity atoms added to the silicon. Let's take what happens. This is silicon atom and there are 4 valence electrons, and you can see here there is a hole. So what happens? What are the chances? One of the valence electron from neighboring silicon atom may transfer to this hole. Now when it gets transferred to this hole, now it will create hole out here. Now what happens, again there is a neighboring silicon atom and one of the valence electron can get into this hole and it will fill this space, but now it is creating another hole in this silicon atom and this process will continue. So this is p-type semiconductor. What is p-type semiconductor? When we add trivalent impurity into silicon atom, then it becomes p-type semiconductor because there is a hole in the boron atom. Here you can see this is boron atom, there was a hole, the neighboring electron will take up a space and you can see so many. Again see, when electron gets transferred, whenever electron shifts from one position to another position, it will leave hole behind. Whenever electron shifts from one position to another, it will always leave a hole behind, like this. Then what is n-type impurity? Adding n-type impurity. When pentavalent impurity is added to a pure semiconductor, when pentavalent means having 5 valence electrons in the outermost orbit. When pentavalent impurity is added to a pure semiconductor, that is silicon or germanium, then it is said to be a n-type semiconductor. Pentavalent impurities such as phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, etc. are called donor impurity. So whenever we add pentavalent impurity, they are said that they are donor impurities. The 5th valence electron of the phosphorus. Now here you can see, suppose this is phosphorus. Let's assume that this is phosphorus and it is added in the silicon atom. So all silicon atom has 4 valence electron and this phosphorus has 5 valence electrons. So what will happen? There is one free electron, there is one extra electron, we can consider it as phosphorus. The 5th valence electron of the phosphorus atom cannot form covalent bond with the silicon atom because silicon atom does not have 5th valence electron to form covalent bond. So silicon can form bond with only 4 valence electrons of phosphorus and one will remain free. Hence it is free to move and not attached to the parent atom. So this free electron is free and it is not attached to the parent atom. This shows that each phosphorus atom donates one free electron. That means if you add one phosphorus atom in the silicon or as an impurity, then it will give one electron. If you add two phosphorus, it will give two free electrons. If you add three phosphorus atoms, it will give three free electrons. So this shows that each phosphorus atom donates one free electron. Now what about the charge on n-type semiconductor? So many people think that n-type semiconductor has large number of free electrons, because in n-type what we have done, we have added pentavalent impurity and one electron was free. So we may think that there are so many electrons, so the charge on it must be negative. So the total electric charge of n-type semiconductor is negative. This is what we think. But this assumption is wrong. Even though n-type semiconductor has large number of free electrons, but these free electrons is given by pentavalent atoms that are electrically neutral. Therefore, the total electric charge of n-type semiconductor is also neutral. Now let's see how n-type semiconductor conducts. When voltage is applied to n-type semiconductor, here I have shown voltage. Suppose this is a positive terminal of battery and this is negative terminal of battery. Suppose we have made connection something like this, and this is positive terminal and this is negative terminal of battery. Say this is negative terminal of battery. So this side there is negative and this side there is positive. The free electron moves towards positive terminal of applied voltage. Similarly, holes moves towards negative terminal of applied voltage. So what happens? Since this electron, since this is close to the positive terminal, it may get detached. If it is loosely bound, then it may get detached from the silicon atom and it will go towards positive terminal and it will leave a hole behind. That means hole is flowing in this direction. Hole is traveling in this direction and electron is traveling in this direction. Now what happens? Now again there is a hole, so another electron may take up this space like this and it will leave a hole behind. Then maybe one more electron will take up the space of hole and will leave hole behind. Now you can see that here there was a free electron. This is free electron of phosphorus atom. So since this hole is very close to this free electron and now this electron is already free, so this electron will move towards this hole and it will do like this. So you can see that the electrons are moving in this direction, because first this electron moved in this direction, then this electron moved like this, then this electron moved like this, then this free electron moved like this. Similarly, when electrons moves towards positive plate, at the same time holes were moving in the negative direction. You can see that they were leaving the hole behind. Earlier this electron left the hole behind, then this left the hole behind, then this left the hole behind, and then this. That means holes are moving in this direction and electrons are moving in this direction. So I hope you understood the basic concept of semiconductor theory. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching.